leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting
What's going on, family? What is going on? Welcome back to another show, another episode of Shifting the Culture Podcast. Shifting the Culture Podcast. I am your host, brother King Cam. And I just thought about this earlier today. Shifting the Culture Podcast, the mindset, the wave, and the movement. All right, that wasn't how I had it in my mind, but that's how it just came out. But yeah, family, the wave, the mindset, the movement. The wave, the mindset, the movement. This is Shifting the Culture Podcast. So I need everybody who is tuning in right now to slide over to the comment section. Let me know what city and state that you're tuning in from tonight. I need the Facebook family. I need you to make sure that you share, and I need you to make sure that you comment and engage. Instagram, comment and engage. Twitter, retweet, comment and engage. And I need everybody on the YouTube family to smash that like button, as well as to hit that bell to stay notified each and every time that we drop a video, family. So tonight, man, we're going to be discussing briefly. We're not going to be on long tonight. It's Saturday night. We're not going to be on long tonight. And honestly, let me do this real quick, because we're about to do some house cleaning. So what I'm thinking about doing, family, is because of scheduling conflicts, we are going to have to move the book club to another night, which will probably be this night. So we'll probably end up moving the book club to Saturday nights instead of Thursday nights. Okay. So we're probably going to move the book club to Saturday. And then we'll probably move the Saturday show to Sunday. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll keep the Tuesday, Saturday book club, and then we'll have the Sunday. So just let me know in the comment section what you think about that schedule, because I think that's probably going to be the best way to go. So I'm not even going to say that. Something else came up in my mind, but I'm not even going to say that. But yeah, so that's where we at with it. Let me see if I can do something with the lights. I'm looking a little, hold on. Okay, I like that. Okay, there we go. We dimmed it down a little bit. It was a little bright. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, okay. I think I like that look a little bit better. The lights was like, psh, all on your boy. All right, so hit the comment section. My man, brother Nathan, always in the comment section. Shout out to him. Always appreciate their support. Always coming through and just supporting the show, man. We certainly appreciate you, bro. Man, share it out. Share the link out. So let's talk about what's been going on. Latest news, right? Latest news. Look. Latest news in hip hop. It's a lot going on in the hip hop game. You know, battle rap is back and it's in full effect. Shout out to the Instagram family. Let me see who tapping in on the gram over here. Yeah, we got a lot of people tapping in on the gram. Let me see the last couple of people. It said BTQ Crowns. What's going on with you? Win Glenn 5, what's happening? Crib Show, what's up? What's up? Chastity Chavez 1, what's going on? BA Benji, I believe, 494. What up? Yo, let me know where you tuning in from on the comment section as well. But it's been a lot going on. So I woke up this morning and everybody chose violence. Drake had released a new diss. Drake had released a new diss featuring Tupac and Snoop. He released a new joint featuring Tupac and Snoop. Now that joint is crazy. If I can pull that up, that's going to be one of them ones right there. Let me see if I can pull that bad boy up. Oh man, what's it called? What's the joint with I don't even know the name of it. I don't even know the name of it, y'all. Hold on. Drake. Oh, you know what? Well, I'm looking on Google. So Drake woke up this morning and chose violence, to drop that new piece of you know what I'm saying? Piece of material for Kendrick and the gang. And then Chris Brown, he unleashed on Quavo. Like chalk body outline on Quavo. It's ridiculous. All right, let's see. So Drake, tailor-made. Yeah, that's what it's called, tailor-made freestyle. That joint featuring Tupac and Snoop. So I don't know if you all had the opportunity to listen to that joint. When I'm looking at people saying that, like, yo, Drake has to be stopped. Nah, for real, like, it's getting to the point where, and this is what a lot of people not really understanding about hip hop. I was having this conversation in the group chat earlier. Battle rap is about, obviously it's about the music, right? It's about the lyricism, it's about the skills. But when you start dissing people, now you getting into the area of, shout out to Soul Society, heavy energy in the building. Ty OG, what's up, baby? What's going on, family? So battle rap is about the music, it's about the skills, it's about the lyricism. But it's also about the showmanship. So it's not just about you dissing somebody, but it's about how bad you can make them look. It's about exposing. It's about some of the intangibles that go into creating a song or anthem that would destroy the competition. And what we witnessing, honestly, is one of the best to ever do that. Because Drake will take music, he'll take diss records and turn them into anthems. Right? Well, how does he take diss records and turn them into anthems? It's the intangible things, it's the behind the scenes things, the other levels of creativity, not just the rhymes that he's writing, but the other levels of creativity that goes into the creation that allows him to do that. So, oh no, that's not what I meant. So, and that's what we're looking at. And just like with debates, right? When you think about debates, if you go and watch debates online, it's not about who has the best information or who has all of the facts. That's not the end all be all in the debate. There's also the atmosphere that plays a role. There's also the crowd that plays a role. So, if you come with all the information, but the crowd ain't with you, then it don't matter if you got the right information, because the crowd is going to overpower you in your presentation of the information. They're going to already have closed their ears to receive the information if you haven't captured the crowd. So it's important that you take care of the small nuanced things when you are in public battles, whether it's a public debate, it's a public diss in hip hop and music. Those things matter. And that's what we're looking at right now. So right now, Drake is creating momentum. He's creating momentum and he's starting to create a gap between themselves and everybody else because of the added level of creativity that he's adding to the diss records. The added level of creativity that he's adding to the diss records, family, is about to start to create a gap if somebody doesn't get in between that in a minute. Shout out to brother Joseph in the building. Shout out to The Good Family Soul Society. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, brother said Cole looking more like a genius every day. Yeah, if he wasn't gonna be able to take it to the furthest extent, it's good that he got out. It's good that he got out before, we got to this point. So when you look at but when you looking at what Drake is doing, he's creating a gap between themselves and everybody else. So I just want to let the Kendrick fans know. I want to let the Kendrick fan base know you on the clock. You on the clock right now. Like literally you on the clock. I mean, Drake even said in TaylorMade, he's like, yo, you trying to let it die. Nah, don't try to let it die. Don't let me respond. And then you don't come back with nothing in the attempts to let the wave die down, to let the noise die down, to let the momentum die. We're not letting the momentum die. This is what Drake is saying in TaylorMade. So he's already come out with 2 tracks. The Drop Me Give Me 50 and the TaylorMade. After Kendrick released a verse on the song with him and Future. Now, so you got that aspect of it. I don't know why I got something in my eye. It's irritating me. But now, so you got that aspect of the situation. Now enter in Kanye. Because Kanye just dropped something today too. I didn't even put that in the title. But Kanye dropped something today too. So it's like they got to form Voltron on Drizzy. They got to form Voltron out here. So, and I know what y'all thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, listen, Brother Cam, all that's well and good, brother. All that's well and good. But we're about to be in World War III on the stage of world affairs. There's a lot of other stuff going on that we should be focusing our attention on, not necessarily hip-hop rap battles. Well, I mean, that's absolutely true. Now, we're not going to get into that on this show tonight, but the teachings speak for itself. The recent lectures of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak for themselves. Go and watch this past Savior's Day lecture. Go and watch the lecture of the Savior's Day before that, the War of Armageddon. Go watch those last 2 lectures. They're going to give you everything that you need to address this World War III that's happening on an international level, in world affairs and nations and governments. The minister then went on into all of that during Savior's Day. So I would say, instead of listening for that stuff to come through a podcast, you need to go and listen to that coming through the mouthpiece of Allah. And I missed today the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right? That's what we should be doing with that. Okay? If you want to go and, you want to tap in with that, you want to get some insight on that, the minister did that. You want to get some insight on what's going on in the Middle East, go and watch this past Savior's Day. Minister dived into that. So for us, though, while we studying that, this is also relevant in the culture because, it's a shift, as we always talking about here on Shifting the Culture. It's a shift from the traditional hip hop and, the music that we've been accustomed to for the last few years. You got the rappers rapping now. And it's beautiful if you are a student of hip hop. If you are a student of hip hop, then you understand the essence in which hip hop was created in, and battle rap is part of that essence. So if battle rap is part of that essence, then the rappers got to rap now. We can't continue to make this, it's inherent in the culture. I mentioned this on the last episode that hip hop is a contact sport. Battle rap is an inherent part of the sport, family. So look, man, this is what we here for. This is what we came to see. So in the great words of the Gladiator, he says, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? So we being entertained now with good music, And everybody keep pointing back to the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay when he talked about truth coming out. Yeah, truth is coming out now. Everybody being exposed, industry puppets, everybody who been, working on behalf of the enemy against the rise of black people, those who being used as shields, those being used as puppets, people doing all type of slime ball stuff behind the scene. It's all coming out now. Chicks sleeping with these dudes when they was with other dudes. It's coming out now. You know what I mean? All of it's coming out now. This Truth 24. This Truth 24. That's what it is. So ain't nobody safe. Ain't nobody safe. The truth is coming for everybody's neck right now. The truth coming for everybody's neck right now. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? I got a big question when it comes to faith and good music. What's up, Lex? Talk to your boy. Question about faith and good music. But so look, now, while we waiting on her to bring that question up, we got to talk about Breezy. Because we woke up and listened to that record. That was crazy. You understand? Like this man went off. This man went off on Quavo. And then in that situation, Quavo is not in the position to out-rap Chris Brown. So we're not even expecting there to be a comeback from Quavo. And he should just relax anyway. So with that being said, bro, you know what I mean? Like that's a prime example of, fully engaged in the art of dissing, from the hip hop perspective. You feel me? Yeah, 2024 major shift. 8-year build and destroy. See, my brother's getting into the science, getting to the mathematics and the science of it. So look, let me pull up that Tailor Made for y'all though. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to that Tailor Made. And it's crazy. Look, because I want to talk about this too. Because Drake put a little twist in everything. When he did this, he put a twist in the whole game. So look, check this out. Let me see if this is it. We're going to listen to it. See if this is it. We're going to go through it. Because I like what Drake did with this. And a lot of people didn't like it. Okay, so it's live. It's live. So look, I'm about to put it on the screen. We're going to listen to that for a second. And we're going to get into it. We got to keep it we got to keep the commentary because we don't want to get copywritten. So y'all know how we do.
We need ya, the West Coast savior. Ain't great in your name and some hip-hop history. If you deal with this viciously, you seem a little nervous about all the publicity.
Yo, like right out the gate, y'all heard a voice. Y'all hear the voice. Yeah, that's Tupac. That's Tupac. So Drake is going after Kendrick, but he bringing back West Coast legends. This Tupac, this is probably one of the most famous West Coast legends. You got many West Coast legends, though. You got Ice Cube. I mean, you got the whole NWA. You got Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? You got what is my man name? And he is in the Bay Area. I can't even think of my man off the top of my head. But y'all know who I'm talking about. To run the whole Bay. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of West Coast legends. But Drake went and bought out one of the most notable ones in Tupac. So you got Tupac featuring on the joint. Oh, hold up. My bad. Y'all can't hear that.
Talk about him liking young girls as a kid for me. Heard it on the Budding podcast, it's gotta be true. They told me the spirit of Machiavelli is alive, and the nigga under 5'5", so it's gotta be you. I would beat the whole fucking game. It was me and Snoop Dogg, had my fucking shirt off in the House of Blues. You gotta fuck this nigga, girl, he gotta get abused. All that shit about burning tattoos, he is not amused.
Yo, Pac going in. Hey, hey, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Drake has put Pac on the record. On the diss record for one of the most recent West Coast legends and Kendrick Lamar. Yo, let's keep listening to this, man. Keep listening. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section.
That's jail talk for real thugs. You gotta be you. Gotta leave this motherfucker broken and bruised before we really lose. You asked for the smoke, now I seeing you too busy for the smoke. I won't lie, the people confused. Now you about to get this shit another week and fall back to home, girl. But running numbers up, I would've refused. For these industry relationships, she not.
Yo, my man said, not you too busy to respond. You gonna get his stuff another week. So he coming at him. But this is what I'm talking about when you add in other elements, not just lyrically, but you add in other elements. Nobody would have thought, hey, let me bring Pac and put him on the track as I'm dissing a West Coast rapper. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Look, let's keep it going.
Not in your shoes, you supposed to be the boogeyman, go do what you do. Unless this is a moment that you tell us it's not really you. In that case, there's nothing left to say, I just pass it to Snoop.
Whoa. Now, Snoop in the chat on the record through the record. He now got a Snoop feature, bruh. And again, I'm not counting Kendrick out. I think Kendrick could come back with some decent music. And hold on. Oh shoot, I ain't got no data. Yeah, so I think Kendrick is gonna come back with some music. I think Kendrick is one of them. He one of them. You know what I'm saying? So we all waiting to see what Kendrick's response is gonna be. But this is what I was saying about Drake creating the momentum and creating the gap. See, he not wasting no more time because he know, and let's think, understand this now. Drake know that Kendrick not no lightweight when it comes to the bars in the lyrics. So he know he can't just do straight music. You have to bring in the creative element. You have to bring in the arts. You have to bring in the showmanship. That's real rap. Let's get back.
Got to do. We passed you the torch at the House of Blues, and now you got to do some dirty work. You know how to move, right? I know you never been to jail, orange jumpsuits and shower shoes. Never shot nobody, never stabbed nobody, never did nothing violent and no one. It's the homies that empower you, but still you gotta show this fucking aisle who's boss on the web.
Yo, he telling him, he's literally having Pac and Snoop give advice to Kendrick. Yo, you gotta think about how much thought went into this. You got to think about how much thought had to go into something like this, family. He got Snoop. If you listen to what Snoop and Pac is saying, they're supposed to be talking to Kendrick as uncles to a nephew. They're supposed to be talking to Kendrick as uncles to a nephew. And they're saying, look, few. You know what I'm saying? Like Snoop said, I passed you the torch at the House of the Blues. You understand? Like, so you can't go out like no lame. You cannot go out like no lame. All right, let's get back to it.
Now's the time to really make a power move. Cause right now it's looking like you writing out the game plan on how to lose. How to bark up the wrong tree and then get your head popped in a crowded room.
God dang. He said right now it look like you're writing the game plan on how to lose. Hey. It's getting real crazy out here.
World is watching this chess game, but are you out of moves? Dot, you know the DOG never fucking doubted you. But right now it seems like you posted up without a clue of what the fuck you about to do.
Yeah, that's the truth. I'm definitely about to come around.
Yo, and hear this man pop up on the third verse like it's a whole record. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm honestly, I'm not trying to gas it like, you know what I mean? Like it's all Drake. When I'm gassing is the mental gymnastics that's being executed right now. That's what I'm gassing. The level of preparation, the level of planning. That's what I'm gassing. See, Drake didn't go into this saying, all right, let me put out some hot bars and some hot lines. If anybody is familiar with Drake, you know he does his research on people that he has to diss and that he's going to battle against. He's the supreme, one of the supremes in research. And it makes me think about in the movie Superfly. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the movie Superfly, but get a chance. It's a up to date Superfly, not the old one, but the joint in Atlanta. And one of the things that Priest talked about in Superfly was the power of information. And that's what made him omnipresent, because he was talking about power and he was talking about exerting your power over others. And he talked about how God is omnipresent. Well, how is God omnipresent? Because he has information. He has knowledge that makes him omnipresent. And because you're able to gain knowledge from different areas, you know information about things and in places that you don't have to physically be. That's how you become omnipresent, because you have information on things and situations and in places that you don't have to physically be. So when you're able to master that skill and understand the power of information, this is how powerful it can be. So when you look at Drake and you see how he goes about his diss raps and his battles, he's not only just dissing them on wax. There's been a thorough research. There's been an information gathering period, an investigative period where he collected information. So when he put it together in the music, it's like undeniable. And then when you add the showmanship to it now you take it to a whole nother level. When you add the showmanship, you take it to a whole nother level, because now the showmanship and the pen work go hand in hand. The showmanship and the pen work go hand in hand. So now you talking about a beautifully sculpted project. So this is why it's not just shooting from the hip. He's not doing that. He really coming how you supposed to come when your intention is to destroy. See, that's Drake's intention. His intention is to completely obliterate the idea that Kendrick Lamar can even mess with him. That's the whole thing. He's trying to completely eliminate the idea that Kendrick can even mess with him on any level. That's what he's going for. So let's keep it moving.
On the land gang and let my fucking bow move. Shitting on you niggas from a whole different altitude. High up in the sky like I'm Howard Hughes. The first one really only took me an hour or two. The next one is really about to bring out the coward in you. But now we gotta wait a fucking week, cause Taylor Swift is your new top. And if you about to drop, she gotta approve. This girl really about to make you act like you not in a feud.
Man, look. And look, we gotta do some research on this Taylor Swift thing, because Drake keeps bringing up Taylor Swift. I don't have all the information. Anybody hit me in the comment section on the DM. Let me know how Taylor Swift is playing this in role in this. Do she got something to do with Top Dog ENT? Is she like a label? Is what's going on? Because Drake keeps mentioning Taylor Swift when it comes to Kendrick. And he talked about Kendrick featuring on one of her records that was on Drop and Give Me 50. But now he bring up Taylor Swift again in the aspect of Taylor being the one co-signing the records, like co-signing and signing off on projects and all of that kind of stuff. So what's going on? Did she purchase a label? Is she, working at a label now? Like what's up with that? So y'all let me know. But he keep mentioning Taylor Swift. So he now getting into industry information. He getting into industry information and things on the back end when it comes to what's going on in the industry. So let's keep it moving.
Taylor made your schedule with Ant, you out of the loop. Hate all you corporate industry puppets, I'm not in the mood. I love it when you niggas talk loose like I'm not in the room. Since like that, your tone changed a little, you not as enthused. How are you not in the booth? It feel like you kinda removed. You tryna let this shit die down. Nah, not this time, nigga, you following through.
Nah, see, that's what I was telling y'all before. He like, nah, you're not gonna let it die down. It ain't no dying. This ain't no deadness. Like, we getting to this business right now. We get into this business right now, and it's no trying to escape. So whatever you need to do to come out, you need to come on out. And I really like the end of this joint too. So let's keep listening to it.
I guess you need another week to figure out how to improve. What the fuck is taking so long? We waiting on you. The rest of y'all are definitely involved. Y'all getting it too. Soon as you get the courage to drop, I'm out on the loose. On the loose. Yeah, shout out to...
Yo, that's my part right there. On the loose. Like, he's antagonizing now. He pointing this. He on this Pat Beverly right now. He on this Pat Bev right now. Like, he really out here antagonizing the ballers. Like, best player on the team, and he is in their face. He like, you know what I'm saying, Lance Stevenson back in the day. Like, he really poking fun and mouthing off and popping off. He said, on the loose. Like Drake said, I'm on the loose. We waiting on you. He told him. He said, look, we waiting on you, bro. Taking you a week to write this, man. Like, he said, you must be really in the booth, confused. Tagging. He at him. He at him right now. So, man, it's crazy. Let's listen to what he said at the end of the record.
Taylor Swift, biggest gangster in the music game right now. You know, I moved my album when she dropped. I said that already. You know, she about to do a Millie Rock on your head top. She got the whole PG Lang on mute like that Beyonce challenge. Y'all boys quiet for the weekend. Like, I know you in that NY apartment, you struggling right now. I know it. In a notepad doing lyrical gymnastics, my boy. You better have
lyrical gymnastics, my boy. He Adam, bro. It's crazy, but this what it's about. That's what it's about.
A motherfucking quintuple entendre on that shit. Some shit I don't even understand. Like, this shit better be crazy. We waiting on you.
He told him again. He like, yo, bro, we waiting on you. You know what I mean? So like, that's where that's at right now, man. So you really talking about that music. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you talking about that music. You talking about, you know, really getting to the idea of, you know, finishing somebody, finishing them. Let me see what they got going on. All right. Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, Breezy came through. Breezy was Breezy a wild boy. But and this what I be trying to tell people, man. See, Breezy is from VA. He don't have no chill, because we don't have chill in VA. And he light skinned. Now you combine those two, no chill from VA and light skin, you're gonna have yourself a problem. So, like, whatever, when Quavo, you ain't heard nothing from Quavo all day. And that's how you should just keep it. Just leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? Let it die. That's what Quavo need to do. Just let it die. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be that. Because Breezy been at his headquarters since 2021. I saw clips of Breezy on the basketball tip calling Quavo out like, yo, where you at? Then he did it the following year, I think in 2022 or 2023. He did it again. Like, yo, where you at? Why you running? Why you scared? Like, no chill. You understand? So, like, he just need to leave that alone. He need to leave that alone. So let's see. Let me see. We're gonna put this up on the screen so we can all get a chance to read this. So, being a man of faith, is it okay to rap about things that do not adhere to your faith, such as killing and adultery? That's a good question. So being a man of faith, is it okay to rap about things that do not adhere to your faith, such as killing and adultery? You know, you shouldn't promote those things. I think you can rap about them, especially if it's a part of your story, you know. Because before you became a man of faith, you might have caught a couple bodies, you know what I mean? You might have did some things that you weren't proud of, but it's part of your story. And I think being authentic is probably number one today. It's always should have been number one, but it's one of those things that either you on the extreme side about being very authentic, or the other side, which is putting together a carefully cultivated image. And most people don't really care for the carefully put together images no more. They want to see raw. They want to see authenticity. They want to see ups and downs. They want to see all those different things because it makes you real. If everything is perfect all the time and you don't never have no problems, you don't ever have any issues, you ain't never lied, you never had bad business happen to you, take a loss. You understand? Like none of that stuff ever happened. Relationship issues or marriage issues, divorce, separation, whatever the case may be. If none of that stuff ever happens, then how does the people have the opportunity to resonate or relate to what you talking to them about? See, the authenticity is the key. And it's nowhere in any of the scriptures that says that because you have given your life to Christ, or because you say you love Allah and you love God and you confess, does that mean that you're not going to be tried, that you're not going to go through trials and tribulations, that you're not going to be tested? As a matter of fact, if you study the scripture, it gives us the look into the test that God put on his many servants. God testing his own servants. Abraham doesn't become the friend of God unless he passed the test that God put on Abraham, which is sacrifice your son. See, we get upset because the God asks us to, stop drinking, stop smoking, stop, running around with women. But he told Abraham, sacrifice your son. We'll see if I'm the exclusive object of worship for you. Think about that. Job. God allowed everything to be taken from Job. I mean, everything to be taken from Job. You should go and read that. We should all read the story of Job and what happened. God said, I'm going to permit Satan to do whatever he want to do to my servant Job. Just don't kill him. You can't kill him. Everything else, sickness, disease, poverty, trials, all of that, yeah, you can put that on him. You can put that on him. Jesus, that's our man. Look at the God tested Jesus. He had to be crucified. Jesus had to be crucified. And then Jesus tells his disciples, he said, listen, if you want to follow me, then the first thing you got to do is deny yourself and pick up your cross. Deny yourself and pick up your cross. So if you're a true follower of Jesus, you got to deny the things that Brother King Cam enjoys. You have to deny the things that are of the world that are not of God. That's how you become a true follower of Christ, by denying yourself, denying the things that make you feel good, that are against God's word, and pick up your cross, meaning pick up that which you struggle with and bear it, fight it, stand up against it, be prepared to be ill spoken of, be prepared to be lied on, be prepared to go through something when you say you following Christ, the real one. The real one. You understand? So, yeah, but yeah, man, you can rap and tell your story. When never tell nobody not to tell their story just because they have come into faith. And if it's okay, let's see. E40, yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier in the Bay. Thank you, E40. And if it's okay, I guess you meant to say, if it's not truth based on that person, would it be considered crime? Considered a crime? Will's God. Wow, God. I guess you're saying, Alexia, if the person is rapping about, murder and adultery and all of that, but it's not true about them, is it considered a crime? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think if you're going to be an artist and you put music out, you should talk about things that you've been through. Not saying that others don't paint pictures through others' stories, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you got a cousin or somebody that, that's doing life or something, and you are taking, and you're the one that's blessed in music, and you're going to take his story or her story and put it in the music, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I do think that you do have to come out and explain the motivation, and explain the inspiration behind the music, and say, and don't act like it's you that went through that, but say, hey, I put my pain that my cousin went through, the pain that my sister, that my father went through, into the music. It's not my story, it's their story. I've used my platform to share their story. And I think that's powerful, because as media, if you're not talking about your story, then you are using the platform to put other people's stories out. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you just got to be upfront about it. That's all. That's all. Yep, Too Short. Can't forget about Too Short. Yeah, see, Brother Joseph from the Bay, so he going to correct me on all, the West Coast legend, especially up there in the Bay and in Oakland. And if it would be a small crime against God to tell false truths in the sake of entertainment. Again, like I said, you should not be lying. That's the biggest thing. Don't lie. Don't make nothing up. That's the thing. Like, we shouldn't be making stuff up. You should just keep it 100 at all times. And where would the line be drawn between lies and entertainment? I think we went over that. And if beef is beef intentionally made to draw in audience, absolutely. Yeah, beef is definitely intentionally made to draw an audience, because they know what we like. They know we like drama. They know that we like, to be in the middle of controversy. They know controversy sells. It's one of the things that actually picks up momentum in the media quick. Any controversy that come out is being picked up quick. That's how these gossip sites and these blog sites and all of that kind of stuff, have so many views because and engagement, because that's what we like. So they know that. And they've been testing that for so long. So yes, and even with, they use it as a real strategy to destroy black organizations. They actually fabricate beefs. They fabricate, arguments. They fabricate and create friction amongst black leadership in order to cause them to start beefing, to ultimately break them apart and destroy a movement. So that's an FBI tactic that they use in the disruption of the liberation struggle, specifically targeting black organizations. Highly creative and entertaining, funny. Yeah. We're not taking it serious. It's just about music. But is authenticity, or is it what the people ask for? The world is controlled, but money and attendant. Where's the line drawn? Lex, I'm about to bring you on. Because I'm not sure I'm understanding it all the way. But I think when she said, but is it authenticity, or is it what the people ask for? When you're talking about Drake, you talking about Kendrick, the Drake and Kendrick joint? Because if it's Drake and Kendrick, the nature of what they do requires this. So they're not doing anything outside of the realm of what they would do. It's their job description. This is one of the duties that's listed in their job description. Battle. If you get this back. That's just how this go when it comes to the music. You're talking about Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake, right? And again, like I said, Drake's intention is not only to win on the lyrical aspect, but his intention is to destroy the idea that there's anybody better than him when it come to hip hop. That's the goal. So if that's his goal, he's taking it beyond just the music and the aspect of the realm of creativity, because it's necessary, because he wants to again sway the crowd and kill the idea that there was ever an opportunity for Kendrick to be better than him. So hold up, let me see something. Let me bring my people on. Let me try to. Oh, okay. This what this is. Let's see. All right, Lex. Let me bring you up. See if I can bring you up. My homegirl right here. Oh, this is what I need to do. Let me send you the. I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna drop the link down in here, and we're gonna have this convo real quick, y'all. All right. And I want to add this. I talked about this before too, because she brought up the audience and what the audience is asking for. And the audience plays a big role, a huge role in this as well, because that's a point. Like I said, they study what the people respond to. What's gonna really get the people engaged, right? And because they know that the people are lovers of filth. Have you ever asked yourself why Jesus cast the spirits into the swine? Because the swine are lovers of filth. They live in the mud. They live in the dirt. They eat whatever is presented to them in the troughs. If you ever studied mobs and organized crime, when they wanted to get rid of something, they go out to a farm that got a bunch of pigs on it, and you can put it out there with them, and for sure it's going to be gone. It's going to disappear. You understand what I'm saying? So the mind of the people are lovers of swine. And because the people are lovers of swine, then they know they can put filth and degeneracy out there. What's up, Lex? They can put filth and degeneracy out there, and we gonna eat it up. So from that aspect, yes, they know that we like filthy things. We know that you can put ungodly things out, and people gonna tap into that. So yes, is it a level of evil working behind the scenes on that? Absolutely. And that's why it's important for us to learn how to discern. You know what I mean? So when you able to discern, you able to watch what's happening with Drake and Kendrick, but you're not all consumed into that because you understand, certain elements of that. When you see, and really, like I said, their stuff is really like music. But when you get into like the things that's happening with Diddy and what happened with Jonathan Majors and all of these other different things that take place, when you get into scandals and you get into gossip and you get into slandering people's names, you see how the crowd is so engaged in that. To see how the public is so engaged in that type of behavior is a prime example. Now that right there is where you getting into the unrighteous line. That's where you getting into the unrighteous line, because the Holy Quran specifically talks about gossip and slander and how that has no place, with the God. So when we talking about that, that's a whole nother conversation. But go ahead.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. So, my whole question was, we talking about rap and music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just it's a situation where it's like, it's a lot of people of faith that claim to be people of faith that are rappers that are in the industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, how can you stand on your faith, right? And entertain the people at the same time, because we have a lot of Muslim people, a lot of people of Islam faith or whatever that are uh rappers that are in the industry, that are controlled by contracts
Mm-hmm.
where you can't say certain things or you can say certain things, but at the same time, if your one proclamation is to your faith, right? How
Mm-hmm.
can you be successful with entertaining and not break the barrier between your faith and still be able to entertain and keep those things separate, is what I'm trying to say. Because I mean, I listen to you talk, and it's just like, okay, so you can rap about this and you can rap about that, and it might be your old life. But if you have asked God or Allah to forgive you for these things, is it something that should still be brought up because you asked for forgiveness from it? And then the people that have not, that are maybe listening to your music, that have not went through those things, right? And are listening to it and glorifying it, but but have not realized that you have transitioned into a different person by your faith. How is that able to go hand in hand with being someone who's changed and being someone who's abiding by the laws of whatever faith that um you're into? Like, I don't understand how that works, because you're going backwards
Mm.
and you're kind of talking about your past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your past is catering to kids that have not got to your level yet, who has not, or adults who haven't seen these things yet. You know,
Oh, we lost Lex. What happened? Oh, you muted yourself. Oh, there we go.
sorry, I don't know what happened to me.
Yeah, you good. You back. You back.
I don't know. Can
You
you see
back.
me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, yeah. Uh-oh. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Somebody must have called. Did somebody call you? That's what it was. Somebody called her. That's what be happening. When people call you in the middle of what you got going on, they mess you up. Somebody called you, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I'm
Yep,
sorry,
that it messed up the
but
audio. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, that was my thing. I was just trying to figure out how does that work. When you're trying to transition, but you're kind of being brought back by the story of your past, and you kind of have to cater to that to keep your audience. Like,
Right.
how do you keep up your faith?
Well, I heard the minister talk about that one time in one of the hip hop summit conversations that he was having. And he was telling the rappers that, you can when you change when a big ship is changing direction, the big ship changes direction. It's a small I forgot the name of it, but it's a small piece that turns the boat. You know what I'm saying? And that small piece turns the boat, but the boat doesn't turn immediately after you set it in motion to turn, right? And what does that mean? That means that it takes time for the big boat to change direction, is what he was saying. And with that being said, it takes time for people to grow into the new evolution or the new person, right? So in the process of doing that, as you yourself are going through the change and the growth and the transformation, so as your audience. So you have to take them through it slowly as well. So there's an aspect in it, right? And then the minister also, gave them guidance and told them to not to switch it up so fast. Because in the process of that, one thing or the biggest thing that we struggle with is change, especially sudden change. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned that God told him to feed the people baby food. So you don't give people hard truths. You don't give them hard truths up front. You have to bring them into the knowledge slowly. And the minister said the same thing to the rappers. You have to bring them into the knowledge. You have to bring your audience into the knowledge slowly. Because also you think about it, you brought up the contracts. And the contracts is major because ultimately the contracts is what's helping them and allowing them to be able to feed their family. They have people that depend on them. They have things that had to be taken care of. So we would not ask them in good faith to completely disregard all of those things for the new transformation that you're going through, right? What we asking or what we saying is that you go through that transformation, and as you are working to cleanse your consciousness of certain things, as you becoming a new person, you shedding old habits, right? Then you are feeding that to the people, and you feeding that to them in baby food and baby steps. It's the same thing with your child. And the reason why I'm using the baby food analogy, because when your child first eats solid food, they're not eating steak. They're not eating chicken, right? They're not eating, adult size or, full course meals. They start with baby food first. They start with the little applesauce first and the oatmeal first and the cream of wheat, right? Because they got to get used to the new taste. They got to get used to the new food in the system. And as they get used to it and the body gets more adapted to that, then they can increase in the amount of food and the different types of food that they eat and things of that nature. And it's the exact same thing with hip hop and in music. So, the artists are growing, going through different things, transforming, becoming different individuals. And you take the audience through that transformation with you, as you go along. Now, you do have some artists who profess one thing and do the exact opposite of certain things that they profess, right? Like they got music and they putting out a certain type of music, and then Ramadan come around and then they super Muslim for Ramadan, and then after Ramadan they back to the streets, and yeah, that's not the right thing to do. That's not the right thing to do. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, you don't have to condemn a dirty glass. Just put a clean glass next to it. I'm going to say that back. I'm going to say that back again. You don't have to condemn a dirty glass. You just put the clean glass next to it. So while they may not be the best example of, what you should be doing, and they influence millions of people, you want to help guide them to the best way that they can start that transformation and start to come out of that way of thinking and that way of life, so they can lean fully into, their faith and things of that nature that's going to help uplift the people.
Okay, so also with that being said, right? So would it be any accountability, right? Where while you're telling your story and you're weaning them into this story, and you're on a platform where you have thousands of people, believing in you and hearing what you say, and they take the negative over the positive. Like, what would be that perspective? Because I mean, as kids, they're vulnerable, right? And you have somebody who is at in a position where they're they can heavenly influence, right? And right now, it's a big thing to be influenced by the negative over the positive. So if you're telling your story and the positive is being received, and this is a known thing, like in the United States, like you can tell a story and they're gonna take the guns and the killing and everything like that. With our kids now, they're gonna take that over the, okay, well, I transitioned and I got trucks and I got a job and I got a this and I got, you know what I'm saying? So how would that resonate? Because if you're an influence, and and you're led spiritually and you're telling your story, but also knowing coming into this situation that your story might not always be taken to where it can help you. It will influence you to do the right thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can tell a story and they take one side versus the other. And
Right.
I feel like in this day and age, that's what the kids are doing. They're gonna take the thing that's easy, because it's easy to do the wrong thing and it's hard to do the right thing. So with it being, you know, faith led. I don't even know if I'm saying the right thing when I say faith, but if you're leading on your religion and your belief, and you're saying, I'm telling this story to help and get the people out of the situation, whatever, but they're not taking the good side, they're taking the bad side, and you're knowing this, and I'm saying that because Kevin Gates always been like a big person to me. Like I've always liked Kevin Gates, but as I've grown, and I've seen, to me, it's been contradictions in certain things that he believe in, and maybe I'm not all the way into what his faith inquires, but to me it seems like it's contradiction. But you got kids that want to be like him, and want to do this, and you see the gold teeth, and you see the him being able to be, with this person and that person and living this way and living that way, and it's like some people want to get into these things because of these rappers, but don't have the full perspective of right and wrong, You just see a person saying I'm this and I'm that, and this is their religion, and they're telling their story, but they're not picking up on the the
The
basis and the things that's supposed to mold this person as this religious icon. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm really trying to say. Like, you know, when we support these rappers and we support these people, and you talk about lyrics and you talk about this and talk about that, I feel like it go deeper, because we're older now and we're speaking to the youth, and I don't think that with the internet they really know the boundaries between the two. So how would you speak to that part?
right, right. No, that's good. That's a good question. And at a certain point, there was a marriage between the spiritual teachers and the entertainers and the sports figures. If you look at and study the civil rights movement specifically, and even into the 70s and I want to say into the 80s, there was a partnership between the two. You had people like Sam Cooke, who was a singer and entertainer, who was heavily involved in the civil rights movement and the freedom movement. You had other examples such as Muhammad Ali, who was standing right beside, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X. You had Martin Luther King, who was standing beside other, standing beside entertainers and things of that nature. Because the artists or the entertainers are not necessarily the ones who teach the wisdom or who teach the spiritual development, I would say, then what the enemy decided to do was they had to create a wedge between the two. And you started to see that happen inside of the civil rights movement, so much so that they what my man say, commodify the degradation or the worst part of hip hop. And they commodify that, meaning that they pay you more, the more filthy, the more violent, the more ratchet the music is. So they incentivize you the worse it is. And then they tell you to stay away from people who are spiritual developers or spiritual teachers because it could affect the bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see that taking place. And what has to happen is that marriage and that relationship has to come back now. That marriage and that relationship has to come back now, because those who have the ability to teach the spiritual development to the people have to be partnered with those who have the influence, the hip hop artists and the entertainers and things like this. This is why you see the minister always with the artists, the actors, the entertainers, the sports figures. Why? Not because he need them for influence. It's because he's teaching them. It's because he's guiding them. It's because he's giving them wisdom so that they can use it not only in business, but they're able to use the wisdom and how they utilize their platforms. So that's the purpose. So what is that? So what do we do after that has taken place? Now it's on the community. It's on the public, because the same way that, we are growing and transitioning and transforming, so are the artists. They was the only thing that make them different or make the entertainers different is they get a bag for utilizing their gifts and talents on a supreme level. But they still human beings. They've all made mistakes. They got traumas and all of that stuff. So they growing and trying to, and going through stuff as well. So they in transition. So we as the people now have to start directing and guiding the children and say, hey, look, I know you listen to Gates, but did you get a chance did you see when Kevin Gates met the minister? So now, or did you see when Moneybag got the tattoo of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad on his back? Well, what's that about? Who was Elijah Muhammad? Why would Moneybag get that tatted on him, right? So now you getting the mind thinking away from the Waukesha and now trying to figure out who Elijah is, right? And do the artists have a certain accountability level to, at a certain point, they have to now begin to say, okay, this what I'm doing, this what I'm standing 10 toes down on. Absolutely. It's coming a time where you're going to have to pick a side. You won't be able to straddle the fence. So I agree with you on that aspect of it. As grown men and grown women, you got to decide which way you're going to choose to influence the people. So they do have to there is a time, that time is approaching quick for everybody. So it's not going to be able to, straddle the fence or try to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. However, we have to encourage all of the young people to tap in with those positive influences. You have them out there. You have a Brother Ben X or, a 19 Keys, you know what I mean? Or people who are bringing something different to the entertainment and athletic arenas and spaces. You know what I'm saying? That's still fly. That's still, swagged out. That's still culturally engaged. They young, you know what I mean? But they bringing something new. They bringing positive energy. They bringing, spirituality into spaces that did not have spirituality in there. So the same way the artists are famous because the people make them famous. Kevin Gates would be nobody if it wasn't for his fans. Moneybagg would be nobody if he didn't have fans, the people that come to his shows. So those are the people who are helping to create and build the platform for these artists, that we, the people, can do the same thing for others who are positively impacting the community as well. And then when you see them linking up, now you're like, oh, okay. So now what information is being exchanged between them two so I can really be tapped in? And as far as Kevin Gates is concerned, and everybody that's tuning in, we was discussing on Shifting the Culture. We was talking about the recent Drake diss that came out against Kendrick. We was discussing Chris Brown and what he said and what he dropped in his record against Quavo, and we just breaking down the art of diss records and creativity and taking it to the next level in that arena of hip hop. And as I was mentioning before, hip hop is a contact sport, and full contact when it comes to being dissed in hip hop as an MC is part of the territory. That's part of the duties in your job description. So if it come up, then you have to deal with it accordingly. However, we also shifted the conversation to, some of the mindset of the artists and the music that they putting out, especially when they trying to also increase themselves in the faith walk, family. So that's where we are up to date in the conversation. I need everybody to hit the comment section. Let me know what city and state that you tuned in from. Shout out to the Facebook family, the YouTube family. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the bell, stay notified each and every time that we drop a video. And the rest of the platforms, Twitter, Instagram, make sure that you are engaging in the comment section as well. So with that, you have to, we as the people, the community now, have to start pushing out those who we think are, or who we see putting in that work, who we see in the community, who we see that's 10 toes down, helping the youth, got a platform online that's giving good knowledge and good game, feeding the people spiritually. We got to start pushing that out, because nobody with influence has the influence in and of themselves. They have it because they have people that's following them. They have it because they have people that's supporting them. They have it because they have people who are helping to push them out there. In the same way that the rappers have it, the other positive influences can have it. And then when you see the positive influences linking up with the rappers, then the positive influences and the spiritual leaders should be pouring into the rappers that's going to help them to make that full change. So that's where we able to really begin to make an impact, because it was like that in the 60s in the civil rights movement, because a lot of the spiritual leaders didn't have the finances, but the artists and the entertainers had the finances. So when they married the finances with the wisdom, you was able to create a powerful movement of change. So they had to separate the finances from the wisdom. You had to separate the wisdom from the influence of the artists and the entertainers so that you could destroy the movement.
I got one more question, and I'm gonna let it, because I listen so much. It's like I always have to have an answer for everything that comes to my mind. Um, so this is my last question. Like I said, so you have a man, that is in the faith, and like we were saying earlier, they're telling their story, right? But if they have common knowledge in their mind that them telling their story could negatively influence the youth, right? But it's a part of the entertainment. It's a part of them growing. And I don't know if you touched on this when you were speaking. I might have overlooked it, or might not have heard it. But you telling your story, and you're a man of God. Oh, excuse me, you're a man of your faith, or whatever it may be. I don't want to, I don't want to offend anybody, but and that you put this information out could negatively affect your community, right? Is that going to hinder you going forward? Especially if this is something that you're going to continue to do. Like, is this something that you have to, I don't know, in the Islam faith or in the Muslim faith, like if you have to, like continuously ask for forgiveness for these things, but if your story is going to be out there and it's gonna, and it's gonna pick up the wrong crowd, right? But it's lucrative to you. Is that gonna damage you going forward in your faith, as far as knowingly doing something that is gonna hinder your community?
It does hinder you or damage you if you don't use it as an opportunity to then bring them, or bring your audience, a teaching moment or a gym or an opportunity to push them in a positive direction. The music oftentimes can be used as a tool, and this is why the minister said that, because of how uh, we was brought up in under the circumstances that we was brought up in. The music can be a tool, and music is so powerful because it's a international language. This is what made Bob Marley so powerful, because through music you're able to speak to all people, because everybody can get on one frequency through music. And Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, they put messages in their music that resonate with people to this day. So it's an opportunity there for you to do what they did. It's an opportunity for you to draw them in, and then once you get them in, give them the real game. Now, I think you lose them, and you damage yourself, and you damage what you're trying to do in the eyesight of God if you bring them in, but then you don't bring them to what you trying to do with yourself on the positive side. You don't bring them closer to God. You don't introduce them to, what you striving to do. You don't introduce them to a change in lifestyle, a change in thinking, and saying, this is entertainment that we discussing. And even these things that are true and a part of my story were mistakes that I made, and I learned from those mistakes. And the reason why we having this conversation now is so that you don't make the same mistakes. So as a mentor, as a big brother to those younger ones who may be listening to the music, if you're not doing that, then yeah, then you in a bad space. But if you are using the music and the things that you say in the music as a tool to get the people close at your concerts and meet and greets and things of that nature, but then you start taking time to really feed them and nurture them on positivity and let them know, yeah, the music is cool and all that, but we're not advocating for you to become, for you to go and drill. We're not advocating for you to go out here and up the pole on people. We're not advocating for you to go out here and catch bodies, because these are split-second decisions that you make, or conscious decisions that you make, that go out and change and alter your life forever. That go out and change and alter your life and your family's life and your wife's life and your children's life forever. Because of these decisions that you make for whatever reasoning that you have. You want to be tough. You're trying to make a name for yourself. Somebody disrespected you. All of these different things. So those areas, when you get them in through the music, you should then be able to take them to what you really want to take them to, which is not a criminal lifestyle. But, how do we transform? How do we move out of criminality into positive entrepreneurship? How do we move out of gang violence into building business and becoming protectors of our community? And that's where the artists and the entertainers and those who have influence, once they bring the people in through their gifts and talents, that's where they should take them.
Awesome. Well, That's all my questions for today.
Man, is this my podcast or is this the Go Get It Lex podcast? Come
Listen,
on
cause
here.
you know, look, I got a question for everything you say. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just, it's a lot of people that are scared to ask questions, or you know, want it to make sense, but don't know where to articulate their words at. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and my kids are, they're growing up. They ready to be teenagers, and I I'm in my faith, and but it's a borderline right now, with a lot of us in the African American community, because you want your kids to have a childhood. You want them to grow up and not be sheltered, and you want them to experience certain things. So I'm just trying to, I want to ask these questions because I want my kids to be able to experience things without um going against what I believe, and still being able to have a childhood. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
with these rappers, they feed off a lot of things where, you and I know, um you you experience life, and some of us don't want to talk about it. Some of us don't want to go back and relive some of the things we've been through, because we have moved forward. But with the entertainment industry, a lot of things some people have went through and some of them may not have went through is their bread and butter. So they can talk about these things and get paid for it, but it's a negative influence on our children. And I just always want to know, how are you led by your faith and still be able to know that your influence on the people is negative, and still be able to pray and do this and do that, and um know that every day that you get up and get a check, it's gonna be at the demise of your community. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And that's like a left hand not telling the right hand what they doing type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's need to be talked about, because of course we can idolize them, of course we can give them our bread for the concerts, of course that, but us being older and knowing that the influence is going to trickle down to our kids and their generation. It's like, what are we really going to do about it? Like, what are we really talking about? We can talk about lyrics all day on one song. We can talk about lyrics all day on this song. But the overall persona of this person, what is it giving? Is it giving get up out the hood? Or is it giving stay in the hood and get that bread and, spin on the op? But
Mm-hmm.
yet you'll go to the temple and pray every day.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? On your own time, without the cameras, without the media being there. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to know, how did that how did that um really come about, when we talking about faith. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of rappers that is into Islam, is into Muslim, the faith, and they do that things without the cameras. But the things that they do with the cameras are the things that's really gonna hit our youth, and it's really gonna um put a stamp on who they become.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
And you know, and you
this is you
know,
all day. This is you all day. I never question anything you say, but I have questions, and I know that you are the man, the go-to man to articulate these things when I have those questions. So yeah.
yeah, no doubt. I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. If you got any more questions, I'm sure you do, and we can go from there for sure.
Already.
Yeah,
Thank you, my brother.
no problem.
Appreciate you. All
Yes, ma'am.
right.
All right. So look, this is why I'm glad she led off or ended off with that one, because this is why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam is the the Islam that will bring about a new world. That's why the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that Islam that we are taught and the way we practice Islam is the Islam that will establish a new world and make everything new, because the black man requires discipline. I want you to hear me. The black man requires discipline in his nature, because the God has discipline in his nature. The God becomes emotional. The God becomes infuriated and angry, but he's controlled. He has discipline in his nature. So when we study Moses, and when Moses talked to God and they described it as a burning bush, it wasn't that God was a bush. Let me just get rid of the spookism. It's not that God was a bush, but it was that God was angry with Pharaoh for what he was doing to the children of Israel. So the burning bush was an illustration of the God's anger. It was an illustration of the intensity of his anger towards Pharaoh and how he treated the children of Israel. But it said that the bush was on fire but was not consumed. So how does something be on fire and not be consumed? That doesn't take place in a material reality, because once something is on fire, it becomes engulfed and consumed. But the burning bush was on fire but wasn't consumed. It's not a bush. It's because the God was on fire with rage, but he was controlled. So the discipline that even the God displays is part of the nature of the black man. Young black men require discipline. In the Nation of Islam, there's a discipline factor that does not exist in other sects of Islam. It's one thing to go and take your shahada and say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. It's one thing to go and do that. And then you put on, some robes and a headpiece, and you go and pray at the masjid and, those type of things. And it's a beautiful transformation and journey that you embarking on when you do that. However, there's a level of discipline that is in the Nation of Islam that's not in these other areas of Islam. So what happens is our brothers and sisters, they'll go to those communities because there's not the restrictive law of Islam that exists inside the Nation of Islam. There's not military structure, military boundary, a chain of command, military environment and discipline that exists in the Nation of Islam that doesn't exist anywhere else. So the brothers can go to these other communities and they can confess that they love Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger, but they can still do what they do. They can confess that they love Allah and then go home and roll up. They can confess that Muhammad is his messenger, and then they can have, all of these different women and things of that nature. They can talk about what the prophet did, but they can own stores and sell pork and cigarettes to our people. See, no. That's not what's going down in the Nation of Islam. There's a chain of command in the nation that exists. There's restrictive laws that exist that help to keep you in check. And then if you're not in check, because some of us fall out of check, you understand? Because it's rough out here. You got people, though, that are going to help bring you back into that fold. And if you get so beside yourself, then there's consequences that will allow you to go away from the community and then get yourself together, but you have an opportunity to come on back once you get yourself together. But it's a constant process. So when you come in to the nation, it's a different type of thing because you can't do what you see them other Muslims do. Because what we're doing is we're instilling discipline, and we're not making followers. We're not making worshipers. We're not just making believers. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Master Father Muhammad came to make you and I into gods. That's what he came to do. He came to make you and I into gods, beings of force and power. And you don't let things that are beneath you or inferior to you gain mastery over you. As a God, cigarettes don't gain mastery over you. As a God, sex doesn't gain mastery over you. As a God, alcohol doesn't gain mastery over you. See, and once you come into that knowledge, and once you start on that path, you'll be able to put in check any and everything that you got going on because you are God. And the discipline exists within the God the same way the discipline exists in you. And this is why the Nation of Islam is the Islam that will make all things new. So we're gonna go ahead and close out on that note. Because I thought that's a beautiful way to go ahead and close it. Put a pin in the family. And you know, we talking about this hip hop thing. We talking about music and all that, but yeah, we always got to bring that spiritual aspect, because this is what shifting the culture is about, and this is shifting the culture moments, shifting the culture perspectives that we bring into the table, because it's the wave, it's the movement, it's the brand. Shifting the culture. That's what we doing. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We appreciate my homegirl Alexia for coming on and bringing, asking them questions, so that we can dialogue on them. You know what I mean? Because everything she said was right on point. Everything she said was right on point. So, I appreciate the opportunity to share, what I've learned from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because honestly, I wouldn't have nothing to say if it was not for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So, if you think I'm the man, I'm going to point you to the real man, which is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan family. So look, we appreciate you all for tuning in. We appreciate everybody for, chiming in the comment section, giving your thoughts and perspectives. Make sure that you go and support the YouTube channel. Give us a follow, give us a like, share, and support, because we do this every week. And man, we here for the people. So again, I'm your host, Brother King Cam. This is Shifting the Culture Podcast, the wave, the movement, the brand, the mindset. All right, peace.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a guy out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. They see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still wanna think our history started when we were slaves? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like